What's going on, y'all? Today we finna go through all the NBA's lost eras in the past year. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of trades done this offseason. I got one of them that was not done this offseason that I just wanted to do because I felt like it. But it's a lot of eras are gone. A lot of long tenure players gone from their team. So you know what I'm saying? Let's go through all the eras. First tier list, I'm gonna say legend. I'm gonna say legend / Hall of Fame. You know, retire your number type of tier. Then after that, we got you're a legend for the team. You're a legend for the team, right? And this one, okay. This one, you got respect. We got respect for you. You know what I'm saying? As a franchise, as a fan base, we got respect for you. Then B tier, it's like the middle. It's like, it wasn't really an era for real. Like, you weren't necessarily bad player. You weren't necessarily super detrimental, but it was just not an era. It was just not an era. Just not an era. Then C tier, we're gonna go outstanding. You know what I'm saying? Might have been a little washed. The time kind of passed you by. Like, it just wasn't your time. And then D, last but not least, is we are glad you were gone. You did not need to be here no more. Time was up, and that was it. It's not just the glad you're gone. It's like we really never wanted you here, bro. Like, you should have never been here. Or maybe it was just a mistake, gang. Like, outstanding is like, there's like a little bit of plausible deniability where it's like, you know, probably could have worked, but this mistake is like it never should have even happened. Trae Young, you know, after if he got traded in like 2024, there's an argument for legend if he got traded in like 2024 or something like that. If he got traded a couple years ago, there's an argument for legend. But the past like 2 years, you know what I'm saying, he's only gotten worse and worse as a player ever since that free throw rule got implemented. And it got to a point where, okay, your greatest accomplishment was like 5 years ago, bro. Like, he made the conference finals. Like, he made the conference finals 5 years ago. And then it's just been downhill ever since. So with that being said, I think it's just respect. It was definitely an era. He was a good player for the city of Atlanta. And without a doubt, Atlanta respects him as a player, for sure. No doubt about that. However, with the way that he went out, I think he's like a modern legend, if you will, like a Hawks legend, Trae Young type of thing. But like, in terms of like real legends for real, like, maybe I should be, but wait, let me do this. Let's do that. So Hall of Fame, then we got like respect, aka team legend or whatever. Yeah, I think he's like high tier respect. Now, Mr. Nicholas Claxton, you know, I like Claxton as a player. You know, if you go through my channel's history, you will see, you know, say evidence. I really thought he was one of them guys defensively, but he ended up becoming the longest tenured net. He survived pre and post the KD Kyrie Harden era. You know what I'm saying? He survived Mikal Bridges, you know what I'm saying, Cam Thomas era. You know, he survived a lot of eras. So I rock with him. With that being said, with the way that I went out, I'm leaning towards it was just not an era. I ain't gonna lie, it was just not an era because he was young and promising, and he's not that he's not young necessarily, but like the promising nature kind of went away. And then it was kind of just like, he's kind of just here. Then he left. So it's like, it's in between like respect and like not really an era. Like, it's kind of like whatever. Like, towards the end, it was like whatever. But because he was there for a long time, I'm leaning towards respect. But I'll say respect. Giannis, I don't really think we need to talk about it. Giannis, however many times All-NBA, a billion times All-Star, MVP of the league, talking about DPOY, talking about a champion, Finals MVP, we talking about all this stuff, like 30 points per game or good defense, playmaking, one of the best playmakers in the league. Like, just talk about someone who embraced the city, who was doing all type of camps in the city, like grew up in the city, like raising his kids in the city. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say that for a lot of people, but like, obviously, I don't really think I need to talk that much about it. Giannis, Hall of Fame. His jersey got retired. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what Hall of Fame is for. Like, your jersey got to get retired. Number 11 is not getting retired in Atlanta. Tyler Hero, in theory, he'll be respect, but in reality, it's two things, right? Number one, he himself was caught in the DMs disrespecting Bam, disrespecting, you know what I'm saying, the team, talking about, you know, the $60 million player, he didn't play defense for real, or he had no offense, or whatever. He's had like one good playoff run. The team has made the playoffs basically every season until like, I think last season. For every single playoff run, except for 2020, he was injured and unable to play, or he was injured, played bad. So he has, with all that in mind, with the fact that, you know, you had people he's been on the block for a minute. You had people who wanted to trade him for a minute. You had this Norman Powell situation where it's like, you had these two players, and it's like, and he was also injured this season, and you had Norman Powell, they were rolling a little bit, and, you know, he was playing really good efficient basketball. Then Tyler Hero comes, they can't coexist at all. The numbers make it appear as though the team is better with Hero not playing and with Powell playing, or with neither playing, basically. So it's like, with all that, I'm gonna go ahead and say not an era, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and say not an era, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and say not an era. And not only not an era, but also like you don't get that respect as if it was an era. You know what I'm saying? That's where Claxton's kind of on the line of like he could be either way, but at least because he got respect. Like I don't think no way for him to disrespect. He, you know what I'm saying? Brooklyn, we rock with Claxton. I don't think Miami they rocking with Hero. Now I could be wrong. Miami fans prove me wrong, but I think it's just not an era game. Isaiah Stewart. Absolute respect. Absolute respect. He got more respect than Trey. We're gonna do that. But like, nah, Isaiah Stewart, beef stew. They had to trade him because, you know, he wasn't performing that well in the playoffs. You know, I said even with the Jalen Durant disaster. But damn, did I even talk about Jalen Durant on this channel? Damn. Bro, I've been selling, bro. I need to lock in. But yeah, like that's absolute respect. I mean, the bruiser, the enforcer, you know, the utmost respect. I think even just for his defensive ability, his capability, and that being underrated is also the story of like Detroit, you know what I'm saying? Detroit versus everybody, where, you know what I'm saying? The underrated nature that even like with people on the Detroit fan base respect and understand what he does. And it's like the whole NBA underrated. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like a match, you know what I'm saying? A match made to heaven. Like, you know, it's a good match. They probably got the utmost respect. I got the utmost respect. I think that's just respect. I'm not saying so much. That's respect. Ja Morant Ja is in the same tier as in fact, I'm leaning again because of how it ended. I'm low-key leaning towards not an era. But the thing is that Ja at least was the guy. He was the guy on the team, right? Definitively, he was the guy. It was like, okay, he's the guy. And then, which I mean, that's also kind of biasing towards like first option bias. But like, he was the guy. He was loved and respect. And it was really an era. Like it was an era, bro. Like, it's up right. It's on my city. Like, come on. Like, it's too many iconic elements of Ja in Memphis to where like that was an era, bro. For good or for bad too. Like, that was an era. It was an era. It was definitely an era. No doubt in my mind that was an era. Even though they parted ways, they had to part ways. It was disgruntled, and Ja has been playing worse as a player. He had like almost no trade value at the end. They traded for a bag of chips. Jeremy Grant, Chris Murray, replacement level players. It was not an era. It was not an era. I'm sorry. I'm talking. It was an era. That's what I meant. It was an era. For good or for bad. But I mean, they even made the conference finals. Like, did a lot together. You know what I'm saying? The players all split off. Like, it was definitely an era for sure. All NBAs, and yeah, it was an era. Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, I mean, they won a championship. So they won a championship. Again, all them all NBAs and all-star appearances. The number's not going to retire probably, but to have that level of success in the playoff for that long, multiple finals appearances, multiple conference finals appearances, hella playoff obviously appearances, 50 wins multiple times. I think they got 60 wins at least one time. Like, you have that successful of a team, like, and you're such an integral part of it. I mean, that was an era, but at the same time, it's taxed because it was the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown era. You know what I'm saying? It was the Tatum and Brown, the Jays. But at the same time, you are one of the Jays. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like MJ, Scottie Pippen, Ron, Kyrie, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Steph, Clay, KD, whatever. Or wait, let me done that. Ron Wade, you know, duos in NBA history, and these guys played together for their entire careers up until this point. So I think factually speaking, you gotta put him in the Hall of Fame. Got to. And some people probably thinking I'm doing too much. But my issue is that the narrative with Jaylen Brown is so nasty in all manners, gang. Like, in all manners. Like, he got traded. So why are you using this opportunity to slander Tatum? It doesn't make any sense. And then people who for some reason think that he's better than Tatum say, okay, you're bugging. You're just bugging. You're just bugging. And people who act like they hate analytics, but then they're using analytics in that argument, using freaking PRA, and then not even understanding how it works, or completely ignoring certain stats that don't fit the narrative, like completely ignoring basic stats like turnovers, completely ignoring efficiency, or going, oh yeah, Jaylen Brown won finals MVP. Look at Tatum. He was so inefficient in the finals. Tatum shot 38%. Brown shot 42%. Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, gang, okay, I guess. Or even the defense. We didn't even need to get to the defense. We could just talk about offense. And people being like, oh, Jaylen Brown, he's better because, or not even he's better. Jaylen Brown is so good because he won he got all NBA first team this season. So he's a top 5 player in the league. Like, are you kidding me, bro? Or was he even first team, second? I don't remember. But, he's all NBA 16. So he must be a top 5, top 7 player in the league. I'm like, all right, top 10 player in the league. Because he's all NBA. I'm like, all right. So your opinion is based on the votes of other people, gang. Like, what are we doing? And then, oh my gosh, he's such a good he won a finals MVP. I think I said, but like, it's just dumb. Like, how is your argument? Oh, he's so good because he won finals MVP, won MVP. Bro, come off it, gang. Like name a basketball reason based on whatever your numbers or your eyes, why he's placed in the court. And then we can get into discussion. You want to talk about, his defense? Okay, we can talk about his defense. You want to talk about, he's two-way? Okay, we talk about that. But at least I would appreciate, even though I disagree with people who are like, oh my gosh, he's this elite two-way player. He's the best two-way player. Like, even though I disagree with that, I'd rather you say something like that based on something that's actually on the court, as opposed to, oh my gosh, he won this award that other people voted for. Like, gang, I don't care. I don't care. But that's a whole different discussion, gang. in my opinion, like he's a good player, but again, like they also got hold. Like honestly, the biggest culprit in this situation is just the cap and the television not being a thing anymore. So like the money that the NBA was projected to make isn't the money that they're actually making. So, or isn't them with the TV deal, whatever. The CBA, basically the CBA projection isn't the CBA reality. So the money that the players are supposed to make, that the max players that's supposed to get absorbed in the cap or whatever, the cap isn't there. What am I trying to say? The cap is increasing at a rate that does not match the rate that the players who are on maxes, their percent of the cap is increased. So he was like, what, 20 something percent of the cap before? I forgot. But now he's like 36% of the cap. So him and Jason Tatum would have combined for 70% of the cap. You can't win an NBA championship in 2026 with two players making 70% of the cap, no matter who they are, gang. Like you need depth. You need like one guy, one kind of guy, and a depth. You don't need three. You can't. The big threes are not a thing no more. They were barely a thing, to be honest, but they're definitely not a thing. Big twos, not a thing. Like, or big twos, if they're a thing, you need to be very, very careful. It really needs to be big one. You have a medium cosplay as a big number two, and then you have just solid guys around them. Like that's not like the way the NBA is built. Like you just can't do it like that. Look at the past freaking championship team. Like you can't win like that. Like with twos, like you know what I'm saying? Unless both of the players is top three, like 5, and even then you still need depth. Like you know what I'm saying? You just can't do it. So, and then that also even goes into the skill homogenization and the fact that you can't have somebody has the ball in their hands a lot who isn't a playmaker, right? Like and they have to be a guy like Kawhi where they minimize turnovers completely. Like Kawhi does not turn the ball over, and he's actually an all-defensive player, and he also does not turn the ball. But more importantly, he does not turn the ball. Or again, Wemby, complete anomaly where he's just the best like a great offensive player, and then also the best defensive player, and then freaking one of the best in history. Like so, like it's the levels to it. Game, I don't know what to say. The main thing is like you have to be either really, 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 really efficient, or really, really, really good playmaker, or really, 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 really good defensive playmaker on the Wemby side, right? And or passer, right? And or you do not turn the ball up. You need like one, if not multiple of those things. And he's good enough to have that usage and score somewhat efficiently, but like he just doesn't have that playmaking, you know what I'm saying? And they need that if you know what I'm saying? That's why the whole true point guard thing, but then if your true point guard isn't that great of an offensive player because you can't afford it because of the money, it's a whole nuanced discussion, bro. I'm not even getting into the weeds of it, bro. I'm not even doing that good of a job talking about it. But essentially, yes, Jaylen Brown is a Celtics legend. Like it or not, love it or hate it. That's a fact. Kawhi, for the Clippers, but at the same time, it was a waste of time. Nothing really happened. I think this is like the top of respect. This is the top of respect because at the end of the day, right, he even bounced back this season, had arguably the best season of his career, or at least one of his top 2-3 seasons of his career. This season, he struggled with injuries a lot. They had some embarrassing playoff outs. They had a couple good playoff rounds, you know what I'm saying? But overall disappointment, especially with what happened with PG, but he put in an honest effort. He showed up when he showed up when he could. As you saw with even the 65 game rule, he showed up when he could. There were times where he played his butt off. Respect. LaMelo. This is an interesting one. LaMelo, I can't make him Hall of Fame. This is even more respect. I think this is even more respect because the team was actually started. Number one, obviously, LaMelo highlights are the best highlights, or like top whatever of all time. Like he has all time highlights on that team. You play the LaMelo mixtape, you gonna look like one of the greatest players ever. You play the LaMelo mixtape, it's just peak entertainment. And shout out Eric Collins. Eric Collins also added to his legacy. He went from like very immature player to like turning it around. At all points, he was a great playmaker, but had to work on shot selection, stuff like that. But at all points, he was an entertaining player, highlight player, loved to play, clearly liked to play in Charlotte, clearly had great camaraderie with his teammates. So, that was good at all points. And the fans loved him, you know what I'm saying? The fans rock with him. You know what I'm saying? Even though he had dealt with the injuries, he had some play-ins just recently. He always showed up to play when he was there. Multiple, well, I never got all NBA appearances. I didn't talk about the all NBA appearances for Kawhi. It's Kawhi, whatever. But a couple All-Star games and ended with a lot of the franchise records. I didn't tell you he was talking about franchise records for a lot. Yeah, like John and got a couple franchise records. Trey has a hella franchise. Kawhi probably has. These guys definitely have hella more than everybody else. LaMelo actually has a lot of franchise records. LaMelo's leaving there like top 3, bro. I don't know. Alonzo Mourning, Kemba Walker. No, he's above Kemba. Alonzo Mourning, Del Curry, I guess. I don't know. There's definitely people I'm forgetting, like Baron Davis. But he's leaving there with like assists and like points per game and 3 points. 3 points season by far, besides Cotton Knuckle, of course. LeBron. So LeBron, he started off as it was LeBron, then it won a championship. So at the same time, the Lakers standards, but still they won a championship game. Then, conference finals appearance that they had no business being. He right here with it. And what else? He had some drama with the Palinkas and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, right? He's up here. Like, because he's actually spent more of his career here than any other team, which is crazy. And ended up with, again, a bunch of freaking All-NBAs, the All-Stars, one of the greatest seasons of all time in 2020, like, and some great seasons after that too, shooting seasons as well. And then freaking surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. It's so much, bro. Like, it's LeBron. It's LeBron. And at the end of that day, again, won the championship, finals MVP, and was there for the legacy. Played with his son in the NBA playoffs, passed an assist to his son. Nah, it's a legend, bro. You know what I'm saying? Paved the way for the next, generation with Luka, But I giving him credit for that? That's kind of crazy. No, but it's LeBron gang. I don't know what to say. All right. I'm putting a lot of people in respect. Yeah, Claxton. Claxton, you might gotta go. Claxton, you might gotta slide down. You might gotta slide down a little bit. No, that's crazy. I can't say that. I can't. There should be low-key be a tier in between here, but let me do this. Team legend. Right now, below that, low team legend. Let's make it this. No disrespect. No, that looks crazy. All right, team legend. Yeah, this looks right. Well, yeah, he not really a team. Is he a Clippers legend? I don't know. Is he a Clippers legend? I actually don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Is Ja Grizzlies legend? I don't know. I think we'll put Ja right here, bro. Because I don't know if I will call Ja Grizzlies legend. Just because I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like he's up there, but at the same time, with the way he's treated by the fan base and with all the stuff that's happened, I'm tempted to put him down here. So for controversy, I'm gonna just put him right here and keep it pushing. Naz Reid. Again, Naz Reid is in a situation where I would low-key put him in team legend, but I think I'm gonna simmer down, put him in respect because it's Naz Reid. But I think just for funnies, I'm gonna add a row below this one, and I'm just gonna call it Naz. I'll let Naz. Yeah. Gonna keep the bit going just one time. I think it's a decent bit. Yeah, we're just gonna put Naz Reid right there, gang. In fact, I might just cut this whole segment and just put Naz Reid there. All right. Damn, I have so many freaking. Yeah. Okay. This is perfect because I was gonna say I have too many tiers, but no, this is perfect because now I have Paul George and Paul George right here. Outstanding. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't bad, but he got overpaid extremely. He got injured. He got suspended for freaking pets. He came in the playoffs. He had an outstanding round one, but in a good way. And then in the playoffs, round two, outstanding in a bad way. I don't even remember anything that happened in that series. I don't even think I watched it a lot. Yeah, I'm about to say, I barely recall anything from the Sixers-Knicks. All I know is that the people on Twitter were saying that he was bad. So I might even go and watch it, but I don't even remember looking at the, because I looked at the stats for everything. I watched highlights, but I don't remember anything about what happened. So with that being said, I think outstanding is the perfect place. And last but not least, Julius Randle, mistake. He should have never been on the Timberwolves. The only reason he was there is because salary cap. And again, salary cap is a second apron, another killer of dynasties and freaking teams. In this case, it's the only reason they traded him. And look what happened. They won the championship. So yeah, I think a lot of people said it wasn't going to work. It didn't work. He ended up being a pretty good regular season player. He ended up having some good playoff games, but then this year just turning into a lemon, respect. So yeah, that was a mistake. So I think some of these could be shuffled around. I think you could put Shaw right here and I would respect it. It's funny. Naz Reid isn't actually above them, but again, I just have that for respect. Claxton, yeah, respect. Trey is a team legend. I think the fanaticism around Trey versus Ja a little bit different. And also Trey's just, even though their trade values are not different at all, actually, I think the trade values are about the same. Trey maybe a little more, the trade value, but Trey's respect from the fans versus Ja, I think is different. And also Trey is like, I was gonna say his contract is weird, but Trey's contract is disgusting now. But like, I think he just has more respect as a player. But I don't really know, to be honest. I think they're in relatively the same tier, and I just want to separate it just for tier list purposes. And Isaiah Stewart, team legend, I'm leaving that there for sure. Kawhi Clippers legend, just because it's the Clippers. If it wasn't Clippers legend, I'd probably put it right here. But he did make hella All-NBAs, but I would still put it there. And then I'm not a absolute team legend. I have no qualms in my mind about that. Jaylen Brown, because they won the championship, and they were there. He was there for so many years. LeBron, it's LeBron. Giannis, it's Giannis. And I think that's about accurate. So name one player that you want to be moved. If you had to move one player, or if you want to move a player, say who I should move. If you don't, you think it's perfect, let me know that too, because I feel like I did a pretty good job here, to be honest with you. And what am I forgetting? Something? Like, comment, subscribe for more. And let me know who you think I forgot. No, I did not add Miles Bridges on purpose. And so don't talk about him, but talk about anybody else that you think should be here that isn't here. All right, I'll be easy. God bless.